These are the stories
My little girl, she's changing lives just by being herself.
of organizations and people making a difference.
When you first tell someone about adaptive wheelchair boxing, it doesn't sound real.
And empowering others
It saved my life. It saved my life.
across Canada
I scored my first goal in my first blind hockey game.
in our community. The Bucket Brigade.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Will. Good morning.
This is Jessalee.
Hi.
Jessalee, pleased to meet you.
Nice
These
to
for
meet
me.
you too. Yep.
Okay, so the full ones are just down here.
Thank you very
Got
much.
lids for us as well.
We sure
Yes.
Thank you. You have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You too.
do. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Will.
Have a good day. My name is Will Affleck. I'm the founder and CEO of Just Good Compost.
Welcome to Almonte, Ontario, where Will Affleck, owner of Just Good Compost, and one of his employees, Jessalee Turcotte, are making their weekly rounds, collecting food scraps and dropping off clean buckets.
So you can have all sorts of inclusion type programs that work, the right kind of work, of course, but work just solves that problem, right? So if you give people the opportunity to contribute, you give them a paycheck and you give them something meaningful to do and something to be like proud of, and it just makes all the difference in the world, right?
Just Good Compost is a local company that offers curbside compost collection to Almonte residents and proudly employs 22 adults with disabilities from the community.
So we started off, we had the employees first. So this is an interesting thing about this entire project is it's not been like, usually you get the business and then you try to find employees, but we've always been like finding employees that we try to get the business to fill the, whatever the need. The compost committee brought these down?
Yeah.
Great.
They're pretty light this week because we missed pizza day.
Oh, pizza
We
day.
were on a trip, so.
Oh, wow,
anyways.
okay. Well, that's good.
Anyways, okay,
Okay,
thanks.
perfect. Thank you
See
so much. Have a
later.
great day.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
That sounds good. So we ended up approaching CareBridge, which is one of the organizations that deals with developmental disabilities. And they loved it. They loved the idea. So the next stop is to the restaurants.
Ooh. I feel like I'm contributing to society, and I feel like with the extra money, it's always nice. Oh, it smells delightful in here. Holy
It sure
cow.
does. It makes me really hungry.
It does.
That's our goal every time.
Okay, perfect. So Jesse, you want to put those down?
Yep.
And then we can collect the full ones from Gwen.
Thank you.
Actually, fold them.
There you go.
Those are the heavy gross ones.
Thank you so much.
Even though he's been in business for almost 2 years, Will is still excited to talk about how it all began.
You know what's really cool is this entire thing started by accident. Do you know that?
Really? That's crazy.
I know. The whole thing, we thought we could get maybe 40 or 50 people. We're like, can we get that many people? And all of a sudden, we have close to 500 people now.
That's awesome.
After COVID, when Will and his family moved home to Almonte, he launched the operation, and it didn't take long for the community to get on board.
Almonte didn't have a composting program. So we had 2 employees and we thought, can we get 50 buckets? So we went around to the neighborhood and quite quickly got 50 buckets. That was enough to provide a couple hours of work. And then more people wanted to work. So we thought, can we get 100? We were amazed that we could get 100. And now we're close to 500 houses and 9 restaurants, 3 hotels, a conference center, and 4 schools.
My name's Miranda Ashby. I'm a resident of Almonte. I've lived here for about 5 years now. And when I moved here from Ottawa, I was pretty surprised to see that they didn't have a green bin program like they did in Ottawa. And when I heard about Just Good Compost, I was over the moon. I would say it's important for everybody to have a sense of purpose and to feel included and feel like they're doing something for their community and also for themselves. It's really special to see, people come and pick up the bucket with a big smile on their face and a big sense of pride, and then wave as they go on, and it just really grows the community.
Hi, Jessalee.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. You have such a lovely house.
Oh, well, thank you. Hi, I'm Lizzie de Sneyer. We've lived in Almonte for 25 years. Oh, I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. I mean, it's not only beneficial to the world, it's beneficial to me, and it's providing employment for a big segment of society that's really valued here.
No promise. Okay, there you go. Leave this one. Wonderful to see you, Lizzie.
Thanks for doing such a great job, guys.
Yeah, you bet.
It's amazing.
Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Nice to
Bye.
meet you. Bye.
After a hard day's work collecting compost, Jessalee Turcotte relaxes at home. Like many of Will's employees, she has overcome a lot of challenges to get to where she is today.
I have a mild intellectual and developmental disability. I was also diagnosed with attention deficit disorder when I was 14, so it didn't show till I was a teenager, but it's mild to moderate. The time when I graduated high school, my biological mother was addicted to drugs and alcohol, so I couldn't live with her anymore, so I lived with my dad and my bonus mom for several years.
Jessalee now lives independently at an assisted living home.
This is my crib, or should I say apartment. The kitchen, living room, bedroom's over there. Me, I just lounge around, watch TV, color, paint pictures, text, talk, play on my iPad, read a book.
When Jessalee isn't hanging out at home, she stays active in the community.
Sometimes I'm either working for Will or volunteering or going swimming or bowling, depending on which day it is. Initially, I think Will came to LCSS and asked one of my workers about it. And then she initially asked me if I wanted to work for Will, and I said, sure.
Perfect. Good job, Jessalee.
All right.
Perfect.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community. When all of the weekly compost has been picked up, Will takes it to the local landfill where it can be turned back into soil.
So we are at the Perth, the landfill in Perth, Ontario. And the town of Perth has very graciously allowed us to dump our compost here. And then they turn it into the finished product. So we dump our all of our organics and they process it for us. They basically line up the food scraps, they mix it with wood chips for carbon, and then they just turn it repeatedly until eventually it turns into high-grade compost. Yeah, it's an interesting process. We give it back to the customers. Yeah, so they come on compost pickup day and they pick up their compost for their gardens. Few people actually use their green bin program in the city. So if you look at the average city, only about 50% of people actually use it. So even though it's a free service, they're not using it. And they think when you actually dig down, it's because the bins are really gross. So you can't wash them properly, right? You can't reach to the bottom of your bin, so it becomes full of maggots and stink. And then also the hassle of trying to drag this thing out and storing it. So even if you did have a green bin program, you're gonna get the same uptake with a service like this that people are paying for, just because we make it super easy, right? That's what the clean bucket do. Like, there's no hassle whatsoever. Super, super easy.
But behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that goes into making those compost buckets squeaky clean. Back at the office, Will and his driver Griffin Woodley do a first rinse of the buckets.
How the whole program works is to get jobs for people that can be done. So oftentimes these buckets, when they're first dumped out, can be really quite gross and grimy. So all we're doing here is we're giving an initial power wash or a power spray to then be able to deliver it to the agencies for them to wash them properly. So we got about 75% done here, and then they do the last 25%, and then they also disinfect it. So that's basically the system. It also is a job creation program, right? So it allows people to participate in making the buckets as spotless as they can. It's a real point of pride for people. It's a big part of the program.
Right, can you keep washing? We're gonna wash over here along the brim. Yeah.
With the buckets having gone through the initial rinse phase, they are brought to Lanark County Support Services, where they are further cleaned and sanitized. This is the heart of the operation.
Perfect. Keep going. All right, we're gonna twist it. Good job.
So I'm Amanda Banfield. I'm the supervisor for Lanark County Support Services Carleton Place Life Skills. We support adults with developmental disabilities in our day service. And in particular on Friday afternoons, we support them with a job placement of paid work with Just Good Compost. So Just Good Compost is essentially bucket washing on a massive scale. So a local business, Just Good Compost, collects compost buckets and brings them to us and pays our individuals that we support to wash and sanitize the buckets and return them dry and prepared to be passed back out to the community.
Eilish Carey is one of the many members of the Bucket Brigade.
She is cleaning the bucket, and then I'm doing like a spot, spot cleaning, and then this is the sanitizing sink. So we like do 1, 2, 3, and then we like give it to the person, but then they put it like, yeah, they put it over there and then stack it. Yep.
Instead of it just being one person doing it by themselves, we have 3 to 4 people in a kitchen working together like a team. So hence the Bucket Brigade. They love the work. They absolutely do. I've not had one person come in and say, oh, it's buckets. They're like, it's a bucket day. The excitement is like palpable. This life skills in particular, one of our focuses is this is a workplace. So this is a safe place to practice work skills and to learn how to do those things. And Just Good Compost gives them that opportunity for it to be real work.
Okay, Jessalee, we're gonna get you into the wash station. Let's glove on.
Jessalee arrives on the scene and is quickly put to work.
And start washing. Okay. You'll take over where Maddie was.
There you go. Thank you. Joke around. Talk about who's missed a spot in a bucket and we laugh about it. Or be like, oh, we missed a spot on the bucket. Who did that? Yeah. It's pretty great.
It's complicated to get in the crevices.
Yeah, we're just standing like this.
I don't know why they would invent this kind of stuff.
I don't know why either.
But they did.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to struggle to clean it.
Apparently.
Apparently. Yes. It's hard to tell though if this is like a sustainable.
So I think that the disabled community gets voluntold a lot, right? So they'll be told to go here and they do their volunteer thing. But then if you actually get your own paycheck, where you get to come home and, you know, buy your own pizza on Friday night, it's a big deal. And it means a lot to them. And I think it's like, that makes me really happy too. They talk about it all the time. They'll try to play it cool in front of the camera, but they're asked about it 3 or 4 times a week, like, when's the paycheck? When's the paycheck? so when the paycheck comes, it's a great day. It's fantastic. And I know that they go directly from me handing it to them to the bank to cash the paycheck before they go home.
All right, now we're gonna turn it on its side. And what do we grab again for the broom?
My son is Jeffrey. He's 29 years old. You know, in the beginning, he was a little reluctant. You know, I'm here, what do I need to work for? But once he saw the monetary values, he did switch he's become a hard worker. And in many cases, less prompting needed by the staff. And he gets the work done and he does enjoy it. And he gets to spend his own money.
Glenn Humber appreciates the support Lanark County Support Services has provided his son, but the journey to finding paid work has not been easy.
Well, as you may know, students can attend school until they're 21. But after that, you know, they can either go into special programs in colleges, if they still exist. I'm not even sure if they exist anymore. That was not the path for my son. We were hoping many, many times that he would follow through with jobs. He had placements where they work for free. But they're learning the skills necessary. And there was one company, I won't mention their name, that promised him a job. And as soon as the store went from local management back to corporation, they pulled the job because it said they didn't want the liability issues. And I get the impression from other parents and from the staff here, that's a big problem. And it shouldn't be. And I know many years ago, the federal government promised legislation that would provide laws that would restrict that, and so far I haven't seen them, and we need them, because everyone should have an opportunity to work.
Our Community will return after the break. We now return to Our Community.
Good job, gals. Well done.
Today is Just Good Compost's annual soil pickup day, just in time for spring gardening.
Is this Jeff? Jeff's one of our Bucket Brigade.
Hey.
Nice to meet you. Jeff, Emma, and Corey.
Meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
As the community arrives to load up their hard-earned compost, Kelly Scott, Will's wife and business partner, greets their customers.
We've got, it's a full day.
So the way it started, Will always says that it started by accident, but I don't think that that's true. He had a very clear vision of what he wanted. But we started at home in our kitchen, basically, and the bathroom, like they have pictures on our Instagram of like washing lids in the bathtub to get ready to do collection. And then as things were getting bigger, we couldn't do it all at home. So that's when Will started moving out into the community and found the great folks at Lanark County Support Services. So the guys, our Bucket Brigade, does all the washing now, which is incredible.
What are you gardening this year?
The Almonte community is excited to pick up fresh soil and support a great cause. Corey McClure fully endorses the project.
It's a great initiative. It's a real community model that, in my opinion, really works. The whole concept was that there was a missing of collecting like food scraps and sort of all of the byproducts from our kitchen. And we, Will really saw a gap in that and was inspired by a Montreal project. And it was just alive in him. So he couldn't ignore it.
The success of the program is reflected in the love the community has for it. Brandon Crilly is another happy customer.
I think it's great. It's environmental. It's making use of stuff in a way that not every company does, and getting volunteers involved, employing great people. So I think it's phenomenal. Oh, I think it's essential. I'm a high school teacher as well, and part of what we're doing right now at the board level is more integration and getting folks involved, regardless of their ability. Like, everybody has a spot, and I think the fact that we're offering more opportunities for folks with disabilities is phenomenal. If anything, more organizations need to be doing this.
Will worked so hard to create those bonds and connections, and it's really lovely.
And those connections have helped to form a tight-knit team that drives the success of the operation.
It's fun, yeah. I like doing the cleaning the compost buckets at a program with my peers. I get I get paid to do it, and that's been something that I've been wanting to do for a while. It's been something that I've been wanting to do since high school, because I finished high school and then I've been wanting to get a paid job. I like the fact that specifically that I get to do it with peers and my friends and stuff. Yeah, very cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, did you build some muscle? I think so. Got some muscles going? Do you need some more?
Julie Welch is Eilish's mom and another helper for Soil Pickup Day.
Well, she's a pretty funny young lady. She's just turned 23 years old, actually. And she came into our lives, and we didn't know that we were going to have a daughter with special needs. It just kind of happened that way, and that's sort of how it goes. And we learned along the way that as we were helping her work through her special needs, her cerebral palsy, her cystic fibrosis, that we would have to spend a lot of time doing therapies, and I stayed home for 10 years to help her do those things. And now that I'm back in the workforce and she's graduated from high school, she's looking to kind of make a life for herself in this community.
Along with cerebral palsy and cystic fibrosis, Eilish also has a vision impairment and celiac disease. But that doesn't stop her from getting her work done.
I think what's tough is a lot of employers don't see the benefit for having someone who has different skills and how they can fit that into what we consider to be workforce. But watching her thrive in this environment, and Will is just so great with Eilish and all of her friends at program and the staff as well. I just think he's brought such an amazing thing to our community. I mean, this should be more widespread, and hopefully it does, and it helps other programs. That's perfect. Good job, guys.
Teamwork.
Yep, teamwork is dreamwork.
Okay, what's gonna work? Dude, what's gonna work? Oh, come on.
After the huge success of Soil Pickup Day, Will, Kelly, and their son Atticus still have enough energy to work the soil into their own garden.
So that was a pretty good morning. What do you think? How many people do you think we got?
That's a good question. Like 200?
200 people? 200
think
cars?
so.
That's fantastic. There's nothing predictable, and the fact that we've got it this far is amazing. If we can get like the next 5 years where I want it to go, that will be mind-blowing. So yeah, it just keeps getting better and better. Yeah. And I think that franchising would be a really good way to kind of spread it to other communities, and then all of a sudden, so right now we have 22 employees. The Bucket Brigade is 22 people. And then 2 more communities, it might be 50 people. And then 2 more communities might be 100. And then all of a sudden you're like 100 team members, right? And that's not even including the bucket picker-uppers and that's really cool.
These are folks who have tons of skills to offer and want to work and want to be involved and want to be participating. And it makes you feel good, right? We all feel better when we have a purpose and we have meaningful work that makes us feel good. And having a little bit of your own money that you're making and you're working hard to make feels good too.
Having a meaningful job and paid work through Just Good Compost does mean the world to the Bucket Brigade.
Because it's given me my independence, which I thought I'd never get.
It feels really good, because, yeah, I do think it feels good too, Maddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Producer and director Tim Alp, writer and story editor Jaden Alp, director of photography Ben Dion, location sound John LeBrun, editor Caitlin Martell, assistant editor Kevin Burton, online post-production services Affinity Productions, post supervisor David Zimmerly, online mastering Thomas Blake, audio engineer Jordan Bell, production manager Jaden Alp, narrator Mark Phoenix, graphics Andrew Antonello, integrated described video consultant M. Williams, supervising producer Jennifer Johnson, content development specialist Karen McGee, director programming Lee Gagne, Director, Content Development and Production, Karen Nye, Vice President, Content Development and Operations, John Melville, President and CEO, David Arrington. Copyright 2025, Accessible Media, Inc. Produced for AMI by Mountain Road Productions.
An AMI original production.